Welcome to Wayne County Connection. I'm your host, Michael Sweigart. It's a pleasure to have you join us again as we promote Wayne County as a great place to work, live, and play. Wayne County Connection does that by highlighting individuals and the agencies that they represent that are doing their part to make Wayne County a great place to work, live, and play, and giving you the opportunity to get connected so that you can do your part as well. It's all about connection, doing it, working together to make Wayne County a great place to work, live, and play. In addition to our guests today, there are other activities and events going on in Wayne County, and you can find out about those by visiting our website calendar, waynenet.org/cc. The social calendar there is linked from that page, and you can find out more about what's going on, not only today's program and the opportunities that are available there, but also other activities that are going on in and around Wayne County right now. Waynenet.org is your connection to all things local. Today we have with us Brian Schleeper from the Cardinal Greenways and Denise Retz from the Richmond City Parks, and we're going to be talking to them about what you can do this summer in Wayne County to get out and get involved and get connected. People are looking for opportunities to get recreational events going on this summer, and we're going to be talking about ways that you can use these fine resources to get connected. Stay tuned after the show. We'll be talking about some more ways that you can get connected and upcoming events that are going to be promoted on Wayne County Connection. Thank you again for joining us as we talk about what you can do in Wayne County in the summer of 2020. Joining us now is Brian Schleeper, and he is the Wayne County District Director for the Cardinal Greenway. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, Michael. It's good to be with you.
Hey, and as always, I like to start with a brief introductory period here where people can get to know a little bit more about you. They've heard your name and your title, but tell us a little bit more about your involvement in Wayne County.
Sure. Yeah, I moved to Richmond in 2007 when my wife and I got married. She was living here. She works at Earlham College. I was living in Cincinnati. So I moved here when we got married, and I started working for the Greenway about 3.5 years ago in October of 2016. So I've been in this job ever since.
That's great. And we love having people who come here that learn that Wayne County is a great place to work, live, and play. And I think you found all of that with coming
absolutely.
here, finding work and play that kind of goes together.
That's right. I'm combining the two.
Oh, don't we all wish we could do that?
Yeah.
So for those who may be unfamiliar with the Cardinal Greenway, a brief overview of what that is and how it connects here in Wayne County would be appropriate, I think, at this time. Sure.
The Cardinal Greenway is an old rail line that ran from Chicago to Cincinnati. We kind of were informed, the Cardinal Greenway was formed in 1993 when they bought the first 10-mile section, which was in Muncie, with the intent to convert it to a paved trail, which has been done. The section here in Richmond was actually the last section from Richmond to Sandville that was completed. That was in 2012. And it is now 62 miles, which is the longest trail in the state of Indiana. We are a private nonprofit trail system, so we're just a nonprofit. We don't have any kind of government oversight, maintenance, anything like that. We take care of, own, operate, maintain the whole trail. It goes through 5 different counties. And the southern end is here in Richmond. So we're kind of, I like to call the beginning of the trail, but depends how you look at it. It's either the end or the beginning. But yeah, the southern end is here in Richmond. So we're kind of the start of the trail.
Every end has a beginning and every beginning has an end, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's all your perspective.
And the trail is open to walkers and bikers and others. Tell us about what kind of activities happen on the trail and are available to Wayne County residents.
Yeah, one of the nice things about the Greenway is it's open every day of the year, all year round from dawn to dusk. So it's always open, available to use. Like you said, a lot of people use it to walk, run, bicycle. We have people that roller skate, rollerblade, a little bit of everything. So it's just a great place to get outside and exercise and be a little bit healthier and be outside in nature.
Are there any restrictions about the activities that are allowed on the Greenway?
Really, there's no motorized vehicles, so you can't drive or, use a motorcycle, that kind of thing, for safety reasons. We also don't allow horses, which is something occasionally people ask about. There is a horse trail near Muncie around the Prairie Creek Reservoir that we operate, but other than that, the horses are not currently allowed on the Greenway. Other than that, any kind of walk, run, bike, anything on foot.
And where can people find out how to get on the Greenway? There are organized spaces where there's parking available to get the transition from getting to the trail to using the trail. Yeah,
we have over 20 trailheads, which are kind of the main access points, and we have 8 here in Wayne County. The best way to find them is last year we got actual physical addresses for all of our trailheads. One of the reasons was so that people could find them, because I would get calls like, oh, where can I get on? You kind of describe, well, it's at this intersection, which is not very helpful. And about half of them are right along Route 35. So you can say, oh, it's the one on 35. Well, there's about 10 on 35. So we got addresses for all of them, because nowadays everybody has their phone or their GPS. You just punch in the address. So you can find those on our website, which is cardinalgreenways.org, and there's a list of all of them with the address, and they're all also on Google Maps. You can just Google them and find which one. There's a map of the whole trail and just a little dot for each trailhead, so you can find which one you want to go to and help get there with the address.
So in addition to using the Cardinal Greenway for fun, recreation, fitness, with the various activities that we mentioned so far, are there other ways that people can get connected with the Cardinal Greenway? I mean, do you need trailhead sponsors or cleaning events?
Yeah, we have all adopters for all of our trailheads, which is great. So they take care of them all year round. They cut the grass, do mowing, any kind of trimming, they do the trash, that kind of thing, which is great. But we have 22 and a half miles here in Wayne County, so it's a large area to cover. And we have myself and a part-time maintenance person. So we rely heavily on our volunteers. We have probably about 100 volunteers in our volunteer group. And they do a lot of work to help keep the trail clean and safe for everybody. So we always need volunteers. You can volunteer on our website. Again, it's cardinalgreenways.org, and there's a volunteer tab. And we can find things for just about everybody. Normally, this is about the time of year we would start having kind of organized group cleanup days, but it's not very safe right now. So we'll kind of wait and see when we can start doing those. But we usually have those about once a month through the spring and summer. So hopefully we'll be able to start those at some point. But yeah, we always need volunteers.
You mentioned just now a couple of times safe and safety, and that is a paramount concern for people. That's been one of our mantras over the last few weeks here, is how to be safe, how to stay safe. And as people get back out into interactions in the public, it's one of the concerns, and there are several guidelines and directions about how to stay safe in public settings. Cardinal Greenway is an outdoor space. It's very wide open. Are there any safety restrictions that are changed for using the Greenway as far as personal protection equipment or other interactions? You mentioned that you're not having the organized group cleanups right now, but other than that, are there any other restrictions that individuals or families would need to abide by as they come out to use the Greenway?
Not really. I mean, like you said, when we were in kind of a unique situation when all of this started a couple of months ago, when everything started closing, like gyms and health clubs, that kind of thing, people were still telling everybody to go, stay active and exercise. Well, there's not that many places to do that when everything else is closed. So a lot of people came out to the Greenway, which is great. That's what we want. We want more people to use it. But it actually just got to the point where it became very, very crowded. It's usually crowded during the summer, but it's usually not crowded at the end of March, beginning of April, like it was, which is great. And I don't want to call that a problem, but it did create some challenges for us. There were trails all over the country. We're seeing the same thing. Some of them I saw were, usage was up 200%, which is great, but that's just a lot of people. And it is outside, but the trail is only 8 to 10 feet wide. So, we normally put out portable restrooms around the end of March, beginning of April. We held off on that for a little bit just to make sure that we could do it safely. Those will be going out around the end of May, so in the next couple of weeks. So those will go out. Other than that, we haven't done too much else. Our headquarters is in Muncie at the train depot there. We closed that in March. just because it wasn't safe to have people coming in with our staff and our volunteers. We'll be reopening that in June to kind of follow some of the governor's guidelines. But other than that, one of the things I've been doing safety-wise is just recommending people go to a different spot than they normally might. One of the most crowded spots is right here in Richmond at the beginning of the trail at the D Street trailhead. It's a very popular spot, but it means it's very crowded. So we've kind of suggested people maybe go to another trailhead, go a little bit farther out than you might normally go to. It's not quite as convenient, but it's also not as crowded. If you go a little bit farther out, there's still, it's 62 miles long. So if you go to a different trailhead that's a little bit farther out, there's not nearly as many people. It's not quite as crowded, so it's going to be a little bit safer. That's one of the biggest things we've recommended people do.
And especially if you've used the trailhead before, used the Cardinal Greenway before, going to one of those outlying entry points might be a great place to start. You get a little different view and different perspective.
Yeah, exactly. You see something different that you haven't seen before, and it's quieter. You go to one of the more outlying spots. It's a little more remote, a little more rural. So, and it's also safer.
Well, Brian Schleeper, the Wayne County Director for the Cardinal Greenway, I appreciate you coming on the show today to talk about what's available. And I encourage you to get connected with the Cardinal Greenway as well. And as I'm going to ask Brian again to mention his website, so where you can get more information.
Sure. Yeah, you can go to our website, cardinalgreenways.org. Like I said, we have a list of, there's a really good interactive map where you can kind of map out distances from different trailheads to plan your walk or your run or your ride. We've also got the list of all the trailheads and the addresses. You can check our Facebook page, which is Cardinal Greenways. We're posting things on there about what's open, what's not open, safe ways to use the trail, and just things that are going on with the trail.
All right. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for watching. We'll be back with another segment about what you can do in Wayne County this summer here on Wayne County Connection. Join me in welcoming to the program now Denise Retz. She's the Park Superintendent for Richmond City Parks. Denise, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
For those of our viewers who may not know you, and I don't know how they would have missed you, but give us a little bit of background about yourself and your involvement here in Wayne County.
Well, I've been here in this particular position for 4.5 years. I was hired in 2016 with the new administration, Mayor Snow, and I've been blessed to be your park superintendent and try to make parks better than the way that I found them, which I encourage everyone to do every time they step foot in one. But I love my job. I love bringing recreation and opportunities to you in Wayne County and having those as an option and making them a destination.
Great. So tell us a little bit about, you've been in the position for a little over 4 years. Tell us a little bit about what's gone on with the Parks Department over the last 4 years. And we want to talk about that briefly before we get into what's going on this year.
Okay. Well, we have, I believe, made huge strides in our park system. I came in 2016 with a lot of our parks in disrepair. So we've not only tried to repair the things that were in disrepair, but also build on improvements for our community. So we've been able to put in 2 brand new playgrounds, one at Clear Creek, our sensory playground for all abilities and all ages, and then also Middle Fork Reservoir, which is more of a natural type playground. And it also talks about our water quality and is very lay of the land where you can go up and down the hills, and that's really fun. So we've been working on that. We've also worked on several projects trying to get our rental facilities better, and we've been working on painting throughout the city, and just continuing to keep everything safe and beautiful is our number one priority.
Great. And so the focus of our program today is what can Wayne County residents do this summer? As you know, we're in the middle of the removal of restrictions that we've been under for a few weeks now due to the health crisis. And people are wondering, what can we do to get outside? A lot of things have been canceled, but that doesn't mean everything has been canceled. And the parks in particular have stayed mostly open throughout the this pandemic restriction period and are looking to some great programming this summer. So tell us a little bit about what people can do at Richmond Community Parks this summer.
Well, we're always open, and we only close, obviously, at 11 p.m. at night. So we're always open. We've been remaining open so that you can enjoy our green spaces. The things, though, that have been closed per the governor's orders have been playgrounds and shelter rentals and, things of that nature. We've been really excited to start opening those things back up, which will be done on this Friday for Monday's enjoyment. So we've also been able to open up the market again, which will be this Saturday on the 23rd of May. And so opening these things back up, really, I couldn't say how excited we are to see people back in our parks, but we really have seen a lot of people.
By the time this program airs, that will have already happened. So the things will already be open as this airs beginning the Tuesday after Memorial Day for the next month.
Yes. So we were able to, you'll see the market open every Saturday from now until, the end of the year. And, with the winter market, of course, coming in November. But our market will be open every Saturday with some restrictions. So just obviously be patient with us. And we also have our online market that you can take advantage of, which is great. We have our Highland Lake Golf Course is open and ready to serve you as well. You can do tee times at highlandlakegc.com, and you can book your own tee time. It's one per cart currently. After June 14th, we'll be opening up the clubhouse and being able to do tournaments and leagues again, which people will look forward to. Right now, our range is open, so you can go hit some balls. Our practice facility at Glen Miller Golf Course is also open. There's 6 holes that you can take advantage of there as a practice facility, or you can do the walking path that people take advantage of each and every day. We also are, we'll have our playgrounds open soon, like we talked about. And by the time this airs, our playgrounds will be open. So we'll be waiting for you and excited to see you again playing on our playgrounds. Shelter rentals are able to be done. So you can call 983-PARK and rent your shelters. And we're really excited to get everything up and going again. We've seen people really taking advantage of our green spaces this time, even with the shutdown. And like I said before, our grass and our weeds continue to grow. They're not staying home. We've been working really hard to keep everything maintained for you, and we want you to come out and enjoy it.
That was a lot of information, and there's a lot going on. As we were preparing for the show, we were talking about something that you mentioned, which is passive recreation. With organized programs and organized activities having changed significantly or even being canceled over the course of the summer, there are still opportunities for people to get out and do things. And I read recently where a man said, I didn't know my wife liked doing so many things because we've been at work so much the last few years. We finally found out what we enjoy doing together. And I myself got to go on a picnic this weekend at the park and enjoyed that as well. So what kinds of things can people do at the parks despite no organized activities? And I know it may sound weird. You just mentioned the golf courses. I know there's a Frisbee golf course as well.
The dog park.
Keep going.
Yeah. Yep, the dog park. You can take your dog out to the dog park and visit with people there. Of course, practicing social distancing. We have Middle Fork Reservoir, which is the most tranquil place probably in our city to go and enjoy the water. There's a deck on Middle Fork Reservoir where you can go and just grab lunch and sit down. We won't have concessions available at Middle Fork for a little while, but you can bring food out there. We also have our fishing piers. We have 3 fishing piers open right now, and we also have what we call a launch beach, and we're getting geared up for our boat rental fleet that's coming soon. It's been on back order and with some of the shutdowns, but we do have the canoe racks and the kayak racks we're putting together. So that's exciting. It means they're well on their way. So we'll have those kinds of things. Passive recreation really just means unstructured recreation. So just being able to go out yourself with your family or your friends and take part in what this environment has given us and what the parks what the parks do for us every day, which is several benefits, social, economical, and so on. We could go on with the benefits that parks brings, but I think once you come out and you enjoy these spaces and places, you'll feel those benefits, within yourself. So I would encourage anyone to get out and just explore.
There is a lot to explore. And one of the things that I wanted to mention was Denise was also a guest on one of the other programs on Whitewater Community Television with Eric Marsh on In Focus. And that program is available as well on demand. And you can find a link to that in our show notes as well. If you visit our website at waynet.org/cc, where we'll also have links to the entities and programs that Denise has mentioned so far, and to Denise to get in touch with her about what's going on at the parks in Richmond as well. You mentioned that there's a boat fleet coming, and we also talked about a connector trail that is planned for next year. So as we come to the end of our segment together, let's talk a little bit about what future plans are, not only this summer, but going forward with Richmond Parks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're still working through a master plan process, which will be a guide to our next 5 years. A lot of community had input on that, and we really appreciate that. We are looking actually forward to a couple trails coming our way, which will be exciting. We have the Wayne County Heritage Trail that's around the East Fork area. That projected construction dates are June 2020 and the end of August 2020. So we're working through that construction timeframe now with environmental and some other things going on. We've also got the Whitewater Gorge Connector Trail. And, if you take Test Road all the way down, people sometimes mistake that for being the Cardinal Greenway. The Cardinal Greenway starts right after D Street Trailhead. So we've had a gap in our trail system here within the city of Richmond for a little while where we haven't had a connection to the Cardinal Greenway. So we start at Test Road and we start again at D Street Trailhead. So this will actually connect the two. So the Whitewater Gorge Connector Trail will come up and abut to the Cardinal Greenway. So you can drive, you can continue on. That's the Gorge Trail is approximately 3 miles. This will be another mile or so, and then connect up to the Cardinal Greenway. So you can go on up to Muncie or Marion, whatever your heart desires. But mostly bringing people through Veterans Park. There'll be an overlook. It'll be beautiful down into the Veterans Park. You'll see that great big Huey, which actually, around this time last year, we were putting that bad boy up. So we're really excited to be able to share that trail and that connector piece, kind of finalize that trail there. There's other connections that will be happening, in the future, but I think this will be a really nice piece. People will be able to enjoy walking, biking, hiking, everything. So that's
the projected
exciting.
Timeline for completion of that connector is
July of 2021.
All right, so that's coming early next year, and we'll have you back on the program hopefully about a year from now to talk about what's been done there and sponsor the opening of that trailhead. Denise Retz, Superintendent of Parks for Richmond City Parks, thank you for joining us today to talk about what people can do in Wayne County and Richmond in particular to get out and enjoy this summer together. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, have a great summer.
You too.
like to thank again Brian Schleeper from the Cardinal Greenways and Denise Retz from the Richmond City Parks for joining us today to talk about things that you can do to get connected in recreational activities this summer that are going on in Wayne County. Do your part to get connected as well. I again remind you to visit our website at waynet.org/cc and also share this program with visitors to Wayne County and others who may or may not get the program on cable access. This program is available on demand and streaming live, and you can watch those, get information about those at our website, waynet.org/cc. I'm Michael Sweigart. Thanks for watching. On behalf of our producer, Jane Holman, and all the staff at Whitewater Community Television, thanks for watching. We'll see you next month.